Welcome food fans, picky eaters, the flavor curious, and everyone in between. Nothing makes good food better than good conversation. And your table is ready. Welcome back to another episode of the Food for Thoughtcast with your hosts, Melissa Reagan and Steven Gonzalez. But you can call them Chef. All right, let's get this episode started.
Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for Thoughtcast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan. My co-host with the most, Chef Steven Gonzalez, couldn't be here tonight, but I got the next best thing, Chef Dominic Hawks. Welcome back, Chef.
Hello, good to be back again. Thanks so much for inviting me back in.
Yeah, you've made it a hat trick now, your third time. Yeah. How special.
I feel like Saturday Night Live. I should get one of the jackets with the number on it or something.
Yeah, one of those like amazing, you should get to join the Five Timers Club when we get there.
Right. Let's see if I get through this one first, yeah.
I mean, I think it's a good pattern. We'll talk to you about every 50 episodes. It feels right.
It works for me.
It feels right. Chef, what was the most amazing thing you ate this week? Tell me all about it.
Oh, the most amazing thing. So we're at the tail end of school now. We're literally having a couple of graduations for a couple of our schools in our district today, a couple tomorrow, and then we're wrapped up for the year. But the last thing that the students made for us, that we did a lunch where we did a what's it called? Good Lord, why is my brain just going completely fried?
It's because I hit the record button. That's why.
We did a southern fried chicken picnic.
Yum.
So we had a piece of breast, a piece of leg, and then we have our secret ingredients. They're on my YouTube site. But anyway, then we made some collard greens, which we slow cooked down. It's literally as much collard greens as you have. It's about the same amount between
plus pork.
There's ham, bacon, and onions, caramelized onions, and then we put chicken stock, fresh chicken stock that the students made, and then just cook it all down. And it's so good. It's so good.
Sounds
we
incredible.
did that with some biscuits, and it came out really well. Yeah, I was very pleased. So, but yeah, they all got a C for complete. They always look at me when I tell them that. They're just like, oh, what? Chef, see? It's like, this is more than that.
I love it so much. What is your approach to like a classic Southern fried chicken? Is it like dry, wet, dry? Is it, do you brine it? Do you tell me what do you do with it?
So we have our all-purpose seasoning that we start off with. It's got let's see, cayenne pepper, black pepper, salt, onion, and garlic. So we'll season it all on there, and we'll do that at least hours, if not the day before we're going to do it. So it kind of starts to brine it in there.
Yeah.
And then we go in with it's a mixture of Tabasco sauce and egg, which is our wet dip. It doesn't make it into hot fried chicken, but it just adds another layer of flavor to it all. And then we go in seasoned flour and just pack it in there so that So then when you go and fry it up, it gets nice and crispy and kind of bubbles up on the outside. But it's good. It's really easy to do, so it's great for the students if it's the first time doing any kind of fry work. Kind of understanding creating that breading and protecting the breading when it's going through the fryer and everything like that. But every time it's just a winner with the students, because it's always great to get the students on your side when they go and taste it and they're like, oh, this is really good. It's like, yeah, you did that. And so all of a sudden they start believing in themselves. So it's neat.
I love that. It's like an easy way to get them a win.
Right, exactly.
And everybody needs a win every now and then,
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then the collard greens, it's good for knife skills, learning chiffonade, because I could always buy the collard greens shredded already, but just getting them, washing the living daylights out of them first.
At least 3 times.
Right. Well, there's so many students who they come to me. They're kind of separated from their food, from the base foods, because
they're divorced from the food supply. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of them, they don't really know what the base products really are. So they're kind of surprised when they pick up the collars and like, why is there sand all over this? Well, that's what they're going to grow them in,
because it grows in the ground.
Right. It's a real thing. It's like when if they pull a carrot out from the refrigerator and they drop it on the floor, I'm like, it's okay, you can wash it. And like, it came from the earth. It was in the dirt. I was like, the whole idea of that all of our food just comes from this sterile place. It's like that you have to kind of bring that out from them, but
in a plastic bag. In a styrofoam container.
That's right. That Faroe Island salmon just grows in the in that vacuum packed bag. You just pull it right out.
Right there in Iceland. It's fertilized in the cryovac. It grows.
Right, exactly.
It's like a just test tube baby, but it's salmon.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I just hope that I don't know. I know that they're kind of growing meats and things like that in labs. I don't know. I just hope we never lose the opportunity to be able to eat real meats and real foods. I don't want to live like Charlton Heston when it's people.
It's people.
Soylent Green. Yeah. So I like too much.
I hope somewhere down the line that if we have to do that we're using it to feed everybody and to like fill the holes in the supply chain, not just to make rich people richer. Like that's my fear is like, let's use that power for good. Like if it somehow turns out that we messed up the soil so bad that we can't do, anything with it, it's like, okay, well, don't just perpetuate like the other problem, right? That there's not enough to eat. Right. Like that people aren't getting enough to eat. So like if you're going to grow it, like put it, use it for good,
Oh yeah. Well, that's the terrible thing in our world is that we have enough food in our world. It's just distribution problems that we actually have. That our students study that not just for around the world, but in our own community as well. They studied that this year, and we went to the culinary medicine facility in Columbia, South Carolina, about an hour away from our school. And when we were there, they were kind of talking about they have a whole food share program, which is just outstanding. It's so neat. It's all over South Carolina, and I think that they have them similar kind of programs all over the country. But it enables people to be able to take their SNAP dollars or the WIC dollars and go there, and they'll spend maybe like $5 or $6, but get about $15 worth of vegetables. And it's not just potatoes and carrots. They'll throw in some interesting seasonal kind of fruits and vegetables. But they know that if someone gets a butternut squash and they've never worked with a butternut squash before, chances are it's probably going to get thrown out, and so they don't want something like that to happen. So they include a bunch of recipes in there, they give a bunch of resources so that people can understand it. It's amazing because then the people who are it's easy to kind of get lost in the just buying everything from the center of the store instead of the stuff from the outside of the store, because the stuff on the outside of the store quite often, at least the impression of it is, it's more expensive.
It's really like once you've got the accessibility and the availability part down, it's like, okay, now you have to educate people. You have to make sure they know what to do. We recently had on Heidi Herman. She was the author of the Hidden Vegetables Cookbook. And I was telling her that I don't think I touched a kohlrabi in probably 20 years. And she has like a few good recipes that use it. And I was like, 20 years ago, me in culinary school, if I'd have gone and looked at one of these in a store, I'd have immediately been like, nope, nope.
Right.
Nope.
Please
steer me toward a zucchini, but not that.
Right. Well, because that's the thing. If you're less experienced with it, or if it's just a little more intimidating, or you just don't have enough ideas to kind of play with that kind of thing.
Sometimes people think things will take a lot more time than they actually do. So then, because we're thieves for time, right? Like we're starved for it,
Right.
or we want everything instantly. It's kind of becomes this like self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like it takes too long, we won't do it.
Right. Right.
Hey,
Well,
I wanted to. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, you get. Well, I was going to say, especially when you come in after work, and everyone's just, everyone's like, all right, what are we eating? I don't know. What are you making? And everyone's like, I don't want to make anything. I'm tired. I'm hungry now. I'm not hungry in half an hour.
Yeah, I had this conversation with a coworker today. Actually, like we work a long shift. They usually end up being like 10, 11 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It was inventory day yesterday, so I miscalculated the amount of time that I was awake. I think I woke up at 2:45, left the house at 3:30, got there at 4, and it ended up being like a full 9.5 hour on top of that. And so I ate dinner at like 5, and then I turned around at like 9:30 and was like, why do I want to die all of a sudden? Oh, because I've been awake for too many hours and didn't give myself enough meal periods. Like all of a sudden it was a crisis. It was like, I have to eat right now. It was like trying to get ready for bed. And she was saying that if she pushed past the point of the first signs of hunger, that her brain couldn't function to make a decision. So she called, her husband is also a chef, and she called and was like, I need you to help me figure out what's for dinner. And I don't think she would mind me sharing this anecdote, but we were laughing about it because he was like, well, what are you in the mood for? She's like, no, the time for a conversation has passed. Like I used all my brain power telling myself I wasn't hungry. Now it's a crisis. Yep. And now I don't know what I want. So she said she ended up having stovetop stuffing. Like they made it into bowls with bear nuggets. That's a brand of like a chicken nugget that's like very minimally processed ingredients. So they come in like a grilled and a non-breaded. And then they had Bisto gravy on top. And I was laughing and I told her, I was like, did you know that Bisto gravy is accidentally vegan? I was like, there's no beef in the beef Bisto gravy.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
It's just like rosemary extract and like onion flavor.
Exactly. Yeah.
She was like, "You're
with like any meat."
She's like, "You're kidding. It tastes so beefy." I was like, "I'm not kidding. It's totally vegan."
Right. Yeah.
It was a revelation today. Well, I was just gonna say that I really appreciate how. Back on the fried chicken, we went on a tangent. My bad. But I was just gonna say, like, I really appreciate the use of the hot sauce because I think a lot of people think of what a product is, but not what it can do. And so at its core, that's just an acid in that recipe. Like it's just a meat tenderizer, but it doesn't make it spicy. So,
right, exactly.
Sometimes,
it's surprising to the students just because they don't realize that as soon as they see like all this Texas Pete or whatever, whichever one we're using, as soon as they see
hot.
It's like, wow, this is going to be fire. It's like, no. It's that because once you cook it in, it just like you say, it's got the acid. It brings out, and the eggs together in there. It just brings out all the flavors. It's like, and they're surprised. It's only if you add the hot sauce afterwards and not cooking it out, then you're going to taste the more of the actual heat on there. But it's.
You could argue that it's doing a couple things, right? Like the acid is acting as a meat tenderizer. The acid is coagulating the egg on some level, and it's making that kind of like barrier that will hold the flour. And then it's also the acid is it's kind of acting like salt in that scenario. It's like a flavor enhancer, right?
Right, exactly.
So it's really cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we go into because we talk about what can enhance the flavors of foods, and certainly when you're looking at acids, salt, sometimes a little sugar, and
fat.
Again, it's right. It's another surprise for students when they just assume that when you first talk about seasoning, very often young students just are thinking about, so you're talking about adding some thyme and some paprika, and it's like no, that changes the flavor. We're talking about enhancing flavor. And there's two different things, two different scales that you gotta work with. So
100%. Well, I have no regrets here. The most amazing thing I ate was a KFC chicken pot pie that I had DoorDash to the house. I had been fighting like a wee bit of a head cold, and I kind of just had a case of the blahs, and I didn't want to cook. And I was like, I just want comfort food. I want the epitome of comfort food. And for my money, that is some of the most delicious $7 you can spend.
Oh, right. And that's the thing. Sometimes You just want to fill the hole, and you want it, yeah, and you want it to be that comfort food kind of thing. It's perfect.
And I didn't want to do it, right? Like I had potatoes in the house, I had broccoli,
Mm-hmm.
I have I've got loads of stuff in the freezer, but I just didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I had no interest whatsoever, and I was like, well, I'm going to buy the thing that makes me happy. So
There you go. Why not, right? If you're going to spend some of your hard-earned dollars, then have a smile on your face as well.
why not? Every once in a while, like people ask me all the time, like, what do you cook at home? I'm like, dude, sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes it's nothing.
Right? Yeah.
Sometimes bowl of Special K is what it's what's for dinner.
Yeah.
I got a freezer full of food, but I don't feel like cooking it. I just don't want to.
That's that one. That's our freezer. What could you start talking about yeah, you and Steve might be interested in
I
doing.
talked about maybe like
thing.
doing a game of refrigerator roulette. Let's hear it. What's in your freezer?
So I wrote down literally like 5
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Like, oh, I need to write some stuff down.
No, I was getting there. I'm so glad you brought it up. Tell me
so random.
What is it?
So
yeah, let's
I didn't
go.
even look. I didn't even look in the freezer because there's just
That's
so
okay.
much stuff between the four of us. There's always just so much crap in there that. But so in the fridge, there's some. It's kind of an interesting little journey. So we like cheese. We love cheese.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Like probably as much as Jack weighs actually. But so we got cream cheese, eggs, all the usual kind of things. There was some chopped strawberries because Courtney was doing something with those. Parmesan, got a big barrel of some fresh, like shredded Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
There's a portion of lasagna in there if you're hungry for some lasagna. It's still good. I took a sniff. It's okay. There's some queso, some homemade queso in there as well.
Not that you sniffed it and you determined it was food safe. That's awful science.
I always tell my students that it's like that when we're at work, then it's you got the 7-day rule, including today. You write down the date, and that's But when you're at home, you do the sniff test, right?
Of course.
I open up the milk. Yeah, I'm good.
When in doubt, trust your snout.
That's right. All
right. Sorry. What comes after lasagna? Tell me.
So, the homemade queso, rotisserie chicken, we got some fresh pasta in there, some sausage tortellini, Parmesan ravioli, and then we kicked into more of the cheese. So I got a block of Irish cheddar, pepper jack, a block of sharp cheddar, a big 5-pound bag of Mexican blend cheeses, and then and some bacon as well. So
okay.
And then I started looking at the door. I'm like, there's too many condiments to count. But I did go and pull myself out one of these sodas.
Excellent.
It's kind of like I don't know if you've ever seen the Japanese type
the ramen,
ones, but it has the marble.
Marble. Yeah.
So, but this one is from India. We got it from a local Indian grocery store that just opened up in Waxhaw. But it actually has a real marble. It's not like just a clear ball. It actually is one of the ones that has like the little the color kind of thing inside the marble as well. So I got to get that out and play marbles later. So, but it's this one is a ginger and lemon. Ginger lime flavored one. Although it has a picture of a lemon on the side. So I don't know.
I love it.
It's quite delicious.
I love it. It's ginger lime. It sounds so good.
Well, it says ginger lime, but then there's a picture of a lemon on there. So it may be lost in translation. Not sure. But it tastes great.
It's interesting that I've worked with a lot of people over the years that are, coming from other countries, and lime is not worldwide. Like in translation, we will call it a green lemon to help them understand.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's just not everywhere.
Oh,
it's interesting. So,
but it's delicious. Well, I may be biased, being a limey, that I do enjoy limes.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to keep the scurvy at bay. What can I tell you?
That's exactly. It's health reasons. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have Rotel in the pantry? Or diced tomatoes?
Both. Yep.
What do you have for fresh produce besides the strawberries? Nothing?
That's a point. I didn't look down the bottom. I think there's some broccoli. I'm not sure what else.
That's okay.
There's probably some salad stuff in there. Actually, thinking about it, yeah, I didn't get down to the very bottom drawer down there.
Okay, that's fair. So I want to do a sheet pan toasted tortellini nachos with like queso, pepper jack, finely shredded salad stuff and Rotel on top. That's what I want.
Nice.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
what I want.
I'll be right back.
I want a fusion. I want a Mexican Italian fusion. That's what I want. Sounds amazing.
That sounds awesome.
Hey, you ready?
Yeah. Okay.
I have, it's the most random assortment of things ever. I have a bag of broccoli florets. I have 2 cubes of tofu. I have gochujang, sauerkraut, margarine, sour cream, dill relish, canned tuna, chicken wings, and I think there's tomato basil soup in there.
Wow.
It's going on grocery day.
Well.
And I got a pantry. You can use anything in the pantry. It's pretty well stocked. And I've got tempeh as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of feeling right now, and it probably has nothing to do with this list. Actually, it just popped into my mind. Now, do you have any turmeric and garam masala or any of those?
Yes.
So I kind of you know what so our daughter's vegetarian, and she was just asking about she hasn't had tofu yet. It's just not been something she's tried out yet. But she asked about it the other day. And I'm wondering about maybe taking the tofu and making and kind of curry seasoning it up, searing it off, and then cooking that down. Maybe doing it well, and I don't know how the basil would work on the would work on there, but maybe making like a chicken tikka masala type of a sauce with it, using that tomato basil soup, but like going heavy on the garam masala and seeing if you can kind of tikka it up a little bit. That might be kind of fun. So
I think you can hide it. I really do.
I think I might suggest it to her because she sometimes comes in and smells. When I'll be making some chicken tikka masala, and she went, "That smells good." It's like, "What's chicken tikka masala?" I'm not eating that. So, but maybe I'll do a tofu tikka masala. That might be.
You could make it with. If she's never had tofu and is not like sure about it, you could make homemade seitan and it'll shred like chicken does. You know.
That's true. We made some seitan about. It wasn't this last school year; it was the year before, and we made a heme with it. We took let's see, some Marmite because that's got like the meaty kind of. It's like the bistro, or the bees, the kind of throwing that in there. The Marmite and beetroot juice, and then we put it in there to really try and kind of darken it down. Slice it up. We made some Philly cheesesteaks with it.
Wow!
And we sold a boatload of them as well. I mean, people were amazed. That just because the texture really, once you knead it in there, it's amazing how well it comes out.
It's like the color of Impossible meat. I don't remember which one uses beet, but I think it's either Beyond or Impossible, and it's wild. It's like that thing's never seen an animal, but it kind of looks like it's bleeding. It's really weird.
Right. Well, I don't know if you're aware. We had a competition at the Career Center. 6-7 weeks ago? I shouldn't say those numbers. It gets students going crazy. You haven't heard about that thing?
40, but I almost said it. No, I almost said it.
Yeah, I try to avoid that. But those numbers are used so closely together so frequently. It's surprising how you don't think about it until you're put into that position. But anyway,
those numbers will come into sequence at work, and I'll say it, and my staff will go like, "Oh, please don't do that. No." And I'm like, "Well, I'm 40. When do I get to be cool? Like, when do I ever? Please let me have my joy." All right.
Like I can tell you, most high schoolers now, they're just like, it's just like, come on. It's like, that elderly people like me are supposed to be cool about 6 years after you're cool. So we're just trying to keep up.
Me young. Please let me enjoy.
Yeah. So we had a competition with our local ACF chapter. They're up in Charlotte, and so we're the next county down. So they all came to us to visit us in the Career Center. And at first, we were talking about how should we just host a meeting and we'll have all the pro chefs come in and meet with the students. It's like, well, is that going to be kind of intimidating for the students that they'll feel like they have to be kind of the ones putting on the show.
Right.
So we decided with a few of the others, we decided to put together a competition. But instead of it just being students cooking by themselves, we said, okay, we'll do a chef pro competition. So it ended up we had one pro chef between two student chefs, and the vast majority, all except one of the culinary students that were in there, they were all first level 1 students. So this was their first semester with me. So I think they were about 12 weeks into, so about 3 months in, with no other experience before then in a professional kitchen. So wow. They're pretty green, but the ACF guys were amazing. They came in and they were very understanding. That was how it was going to be. But the students just rose to the occasion. It was a really fun event, and it was done through the World Foods Competition organization. So now the winner from that, Michael, will be going to Minneapolis for their national competition. So
I love it.
But it was really cool. But we decided to do it with a plant-based protein meal. So because just going to add another layer to the whole thing, because our students don't, when people in general, unless if that's your, that's your decision in life. Most of the time we just tend to angle for the meats, right? And so we had it was chorizo sausage, meatballs, and burgers that were all plant-based, and it was surprising, and how well they come up, and how well you can kind of adapt them to all sorts of different meals. But it was a neat evening. I tried to throw off a bunch of the pro chefs. I was buying things like banana flowers. Have you ever worked with the banana flower before?
No, tell me.
So they're this beautiful kind of they have like a bulb kind of a shape like that. But you peel back the leaves, and inside it's almost like artichoke would be the way I would describe it. But so it's got a firm kind of center to it. And you can poach it and anything really like artichokes, and it's really neat. But I went to the Asian grocery store and the Indian grocery store as well as the regular store, because I needed to go and pick up some of those interesting little pieces just to try and throw them off a little bit. But so they had fun with it. There were a few of them that were like, "What the heck is this? What am I supposed to?" But the funniest thing of the whole thing was actually the next day. So we had a bunch of meatballs left from the event. So I was like, you know what? Let me go and cook a bunch of, or actually I had my students do it because I don't cook, my students do that for me. So I had them cook up a bunch of the meatballs, do some spaghetti, and they had some tomato sauce that they put together. And so I just sent an email out to the teachers like, hey, if you want to come over to the break room at lunchtime, we've got some spaghetti and meatballs for you to enjoy. And I did. Well, that was the thing. Next to it, next to meatballs, I put in parentheses plant-based. I don't think anyone noticed that. I don't think anyone, teachers don't. Teachers
put two and two together.
So and so they came in. They were chowing down on it. One of our teachers, he's a good Southern boy, and he likes to eat meat, and so he was eating. He's like, man, these are really good. It's like, yeah, it's all plant-based. He's like, what? And then, but then the thing that blew me away most, our ag teacher, when he came in, he tasted them. He's like, what is this? Like, are they venison or something? I was like, no, it's plant-based. He's like, really? It's like, yeah. I mean, it's like, we'd seasoned them up and everything, but it's surprising how good they make some of these products these days.
100%. I have such a low rent relationship with tofu. Like I just I literally, without pressing it, without drying it, cut it up in cubes and throw it in the air fryer and then just put peanut sauce all over it. I like the way it tastes and I like the texture, and I've been on a kick lately because grocery prices have gotten so high, and at Aldi you can get a pound of tofu for $1.66. It by far outprices every animal protein out there. I don't do it for,
Right.
I'm not virtue signaling. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I'm not a vegan. It doesn't matter, right? Like it's not for any other reason except for it's just cheap. Like it's cheap and I like it. And I know how to make it the way I like it. But what was the basis for the meatballs? Like what did you guys put in there?
Well, that was the thing. So these came, the meats came already pre-packaged, pre-made for the competition. But when you looked at them raw, they have what almost looks like suet. You know, when you get like the piped suet product, it almost looked like that in there. So I guess it was some solidified plant fat in there, but
like DDT or something like that. Maybe.
Right, and it kept them nice and juicy. So when you start frying them up, they didn't dry out. Because that was my concern with it. Was that because some of those things you can get it where you can really dry them out very quickly. But no, they cooked up wonderfully. And then then throwing the tomato sauce on there. They did a nicely seasoned up tomato sauce. It completely threw them off. They had no idea. They were eating it and like, this is really good. Oh, and we had plant-based Parmesan cheese as well, like a what would look like a freshly grated Parmesan cheese, not the dust, you know. And so, and it had a real funk to it as well. It's like, wow. I mean, they got it like spot on where they had that perfect Parmesan funk.
Did you buy it or did you make it?
So it was actually supplied to us by one of the other chefs. Because he was able to source all of it for us. So he brought it in.
Sort of like plant rennet that kind of made it that, you know, that mature aged flavor. Like
right. Because it really had a kick. Because when I brought a tub of it over, I opened up the lid and I'm like, oh yeah, help yourself to some Parmesan as well if you want. And it's like, whoa, that's like fresh. It's like it's got a funk to it.
I mean,
it's like
because anybody can do like use nutritional yeast and like cashews dust like mixed together, but it doesn't. It tastes cheesy. Like the yeast, you know, they use nutritional yeast to make a lot of things taste cheesy that are vegan, but it's not quite the same as Parm. Like Parm just has that like real edgy, and it kind of catches you right, salty, like.
Right. The saltiness and the acidity that's in there, it's like it hits just right. And that's the thing. The way that people look at it, it's like they either love it or it's like this isn't for me. This is too much. I taste my students on different varieties of cheeses. We sit down and do a whole cheese tasting because again, some kids they may have just had cheddar all their lives, or even worse still, just the American cheese. You know, the thing I explain to them is every cheese has its purpose. You know, but you know, American cheese will melt perfectly over a burger, right? It's not really designed to have that much flavor because when you've got it sitting on that burger, you don't really taste the cheese, but it adds some more moisture back in there with some fat sitting on top of it. So it serves its purpose. But if you're looking for cheese that's got flavor to it, or if you're looking to inject flavor into something, you can consider, or if you're looking for it to be a cheese that melts well, or if it doesn't, if you're using ricotta and you're expecting it to like bubble up and everything, it's just not going to do that. I mean,
it won't.
But yeah, we just go into it's just fun looking at them because we'll taste through from like some chev, some goat cheese, and just watching their faces as they bite into it, and they're all, I know they're very off because I won't tell them at first. I'll say, have a smell, have it, and I'll give them some crackers and okay, have a taste, and just seeing the look on their face when the acidity hits and they weren't expecting it, it's like, oh,
yeah,
and then they're like, tastes like barnyard or something. I don't know. It's like, but that's when you have to explain that it's like, but if you're looking to heighten the acidity, if you're looking to, it goes really well with salads and things like that as well. But it's not going to be something if you're gonna do a grilled cheese sandwich, then that chev cheese isn't going to react in the same way that some cheddar cheese will, or something like that. But and then we'll go up to some really mature cheeses and get some really funky kind of ones, and it's just fun watching them. And sometimes it's surprising I'll get some students that will just absolutely fall in love, with some of these cheeses. Like I love a mature Gruyere cheese. When it literally, and well, the way I describe it, it's like, have you ever had a pair of sneakers that you put on with bare feet? You didn't put socks on first, and then they got wet, and then you left them in the closet for a couple of months, and then you pull them out, and it's like, that's how it smells, but it doesn't taste like that. But it has the most amazing flavors to it.
Mildew.
Well, that's the thing. They'll be smelling. Oh, how can you even eat this? Well, it's part of your grade, so let's see how you eat it. But some of them will be taking the tiny little bite off the end of it,
trying to fake it.
And then, right. And but then and then we talk about, okay, well, what was your favorite? What was your least favorite? But now, where would you use it? And that's, it kind of gets the mind flowing, rather than just thinking about cheese as being something you stick on top of a burger. It's like, no, we can use cheese in all sorts of really good things.
Cheeses aren't just for a cheese board either.
Right.
I like, one of the things I like to teach people is that if the cheese won't do what you want it to do in the form that it's in, you can kind of change the structure. So like, if you were making pizza, like, you could whip the feta with a little heavy cream. You could whip the ricotta. You could heat the burrata. You could take the stracciatella out of the middle of the burrata. If you just wanted that, or if you were using something for a grilled cheese sandwich that wouldn't melt, like, there are ways you could make it better, right? Like,
right.
So,
you're
not going to use parm to make a grilled cheese. Like, that's a bad idea. But you could use the parm to flavor something else really soft. Like, you could use the Parmesan to flavor a farmer's cheese, and you could get the same, flavor, and it might do what you want.
Right. Exactly.
And melty.
Right. Exactly. Oh, I love cheese. I love cheese, and I don't think I've ever met a cheese I didn't like. But it's just neat with all of the various different methods that are used, whether it's double milking, with like double Gloucester, or if you're adding some volcanic ash to them, and coffee to the outside of them, wine. I mean, there's so many different processes that we go and put them through. It's literally like tasting wines when you get into that kind of thing. So it's exciting, and it's one of those things where the high school that's next door to us is a Title I school. So there's lots of families there that are financially challenged. So some of these students haven't had those opportunities yet. But helping to kind of open their eyes to some of these things, it definitely helps. That all of a sudden their minds expand significantly, being able to look at these things differently than they would otherwise.
Yeah, it's just an eye-opening experience. I love introducing people to food that they've never had before. Like, I'll never forget, I was making dinner for my parents one time, and my stepmother said, like, "Oh, I don't like asparagus. No, thank you." She'd only ever had it out of a can.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, I wouldn't either. Like, it's disgusting. It's like baby food. It's really there are canned vegetables I adore. I will almost any day take a canned green bean over a fresh one. Fresh one's amazing. I love them with lots of garlic and ginger. I like them with lemongrass and longle. I like them with I like them fried really hard, like skip the blanching and just like super hard into a wok with teriyaki. I like them that way. But if you opened me a can of Food Lion green beans, I would eat them with a fork straight out of the can. It's like a TV watching snack. Like, I can't, I don't know. There's just something about it that hits right. But if you asked me to eat a canned beet, I'd be like, no, I will not.
Right.
No, thank you very much. No.
We'll very often use, I'm talking about canned vegetables, we'll very often use canned tomatoes, because we're just finishing school now. We won't be back in until in fact we're actually going back in at the the students will be back at the very beginning of August. So we're starting to squeeze our summer a little to go to move away from the agrarian calendar and get into more year round. But traditionally, when you look at school calendars, right when local tomatoes, so I'm in North Carolina. I teach just over the border in South Carolina. Just when local tomatoes are just coming in, then it's like, oh, time for school to finish, and then when we come back in, it's like, oh yeah, unless if you're getting like a second harvest of them coming through, if then then it's kind of hard to be able to cook with fresh tomatoes for much of our school year. But although we do have a plan. My ag teacher, we were talking about a plan. He's going to see if he can get a second harvest on some tomatoes towards the beginning of the school year. We're going to don't tell the farmer, but he's literally chopping down the wheat in the wheat. We're surrounded by wheat fields at the moment. And I just noticed as I was driving in this afternoon, there's some there's the wheat that was just left on the very edge there. He's done with it, and I know the birds will have some of it, but I'm going to go up there. I'm going to go for a little walk and snip some of that so that we can make a sourdough starter with local wheat flour. We'll make our own flour, and then we'll be able to make some sourdough bread. And we're going to go our local the meat center is our local butcher shop. I'll get some full size pork bellies, and we'll go make our own bacon, and our ag teacher or our ag department, our ag students will grow some lettuce, so we'll be able to make a BLT sandwich that's completely in-house, completely local. So
I love it. It'll taste so uniquely local because that sourdough starter will pull wild yeast from that air.
Right, exactly.
It's so cool. I've never been good at sourdough. I'm really good at eating it. But I ordered some San Francisco culture, starters, and they tasted way different than what I was able to create in Texas. I haven't even bothered here in North Carolina because I'm like, I already know that me and sourdough are not friends. I'm really good at making penicillin, not sourdough. Like something always happens. So I stick with my ferments. Like I've got refrigerator pickles and a little small batch kimchi, and that stuff is, at least I know the finished product is something I would like to eat, not, weeks and weeks stretching and folding trauma where the bread doesn't turn out good. I just buy the sourdough. But that's so amazing. The only thing I think I heard missing is like, just go ahead and make that mayo with the bacon fat. Like just go ahead.
Oh, that's
all the way across the finish line.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, teach your emulsion. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gonna put it over the top. Yes.
Frenchmen are just freaking out. That is not the ale.
It's gonna be good though. That's a really good thought. I appreciate that.
I cannot take credit for it. There's a small place in Dallas, very near to where I used to live. And will live again really soon, called Good Friend Package, and their BLT has bacon fat mayo on it. It is insane. So cool. So
it's always.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, I was going to say it's always fun when we get we'll get the full pork belly, and I'll just plop it down right in front of the students because it's a whole math class when we start working on how we're going to cure it. It's a whole math class because if you just dump a ton of salt all over it, you can make it completely inedible. If you don't put enough on there and you don't cure it, well, then you're going to start poisoning people. So you have to get that stuff right.
Rightfully so. You can't like kosher a pork belly. Like it doesn't work, not just in theory that it's not kosher, but like you can't use that method because the ratios aren't right. So
right, exactly.
Hey,
but we'll
hear a pig joke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I don't know how this one will. I think it's hysterical, but it's totally a dad joke. Do you know what a pig would be called if it was a dog?
What would a pig be called if it was a dog? I can't think of it.
A Yorkshire Terrier. It's so bad, but it's so good.
I'm going to use that when we make the bacon because I love making my students groan.
It's so great.
Yorkshire Terrier.
You got to throw out a dad joke every once in a while. I'm a dog mom.
Absolutely.
Dad jokes are strong. It sounds so good. I'm a huge fan of like that. I like a chili, like a guajillo chili powder, brown sugar type cure for like.
So yeah. We normally, with a whole pork belly, we normally cut them into 4. So we'll do 4 different flavors, and I just let the students kind of run wild with it. They do tend to, when I throw the idea out there, I say, well, it's like you could just do like a peppered bacon, it'd be like Peppa Pig. They're like, oh yeah, we got to do that one. It's like, oh dear, I'm ruining children. But
the bacon base is a Peppa Pig jigsaw puzzle, as you can tell them that.
Right. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's always neat for when they make the whole product. But when they first see the pork belly and they look at it, they're like, are those nipples? I was like, yes, this came from a mammal. It came from an animal. It wasn't grown in a lab. And at first, a lot of them will look at it like, I don't know if I can eat that. How is that bacon? But by the time we finish it, and then we start putting it on the meat slicer and slicing it into rashers, and then cooking it up, they're like, Chef, this is just like bacon. It's like, what do you think?
It is bacon. You made bacon.
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
I love it so much. All right, so I want to pick your brain about spaghetti sauce. Like, do you always make it from scratch if you're making it at home?
At home, mostly not. I mean, it'll be
jarred. Am I making it? You're going to reveal your deepest shame at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I would rarely just use what you're just pouring out. I mean, I'm normally adding things to it.
Yeah.
If it's a Sunday afternoon and I've got nothing better to do, then sure, I'm all about it. But it's
the full on.
But yeah, most of the time, if I'm at home, it's coming from a jar, and I'm adding something to it. So it's just the nature of the game, right? If it's busy, and I always seem to be busy, and it's one thing I need to do better at is less busy.
It's like the story of everybody's life, though. They go like, "This is the year when we do less things," and then you try to do more things to make it to where you can do less things. Like, it just never works. It doesn't.
I know. Yeah.
It's funny you were talking about tomatoes, and when they have their peak flavor. Like I'll come back to the spaghetti sauce in a minute, but I had a good friend of mine some years ago, many years ago, who we were working in a kitchen together, and he brought in a can of like just grocery store house brand, like whole tomatoes, like in a can. And we had been talking about growing up, and then I grew up in the fake South, which is Texas. They're only Southern when it's convenient. It's very cosmopolitan, but he had grown up in Georgia. And he was like, I don't like anything better in the summertime than like a tomato sandwich, like a very squishy white mayonnaise, and you season the tomato slices on both sides, and put them in there. And at peak ripeness, there's like juice running down your wrist and your hand. Right. Juicy, it's making your mouth water and everything else. At the time, I think it was like November. And so if I remember correctly, and he goes, I want to do an experiment with you. And I was like, okay. And he goes, I brought this can of tomatoes in. We're going to make a tomato sandwich with it. And I was like, that sounds absolutely terrible. I'm not partaking. I will not be party to your, I'm not doing it. I'm going to do it. He was like, oh, come on. And so we literally got very cheap Pullman, like a Texas toast. Not cheap. That's really the wrong word to use. White bread. Very
traditional, right?
Unsubstantial, right? Like I like a bread that looks like it's been dropped on the floor and pick things up with it. I like a seedy oat, but very unsubstantial, very squishy white bread, right? And we put the mayonnaise on both sides. I'm a Miracle Whip girl myself. I know that's like fighting words, but y'all can have your Dukes. I don't care. But at the time, it was just probably like Cisco classic mayonnaise. And he took these 10 tomatoes out and he gave them a rinse, like in a sieve, like in a colander. And he patted them dry with paper towel and then sliced it like it was a fresh tomato. And he was like, if you close your eyes, you can't tell me it doesn't taste like a summer tomato, because they pick it at the height of fresh, right? And then they preserve it for almost forever in the can.
Right.
No BPA if you're like really lucky, right? And so, no forever plastics or whatever it is, right? The price.
Right.
But yeah, he was. I couldn't believe it.
That's what we talk about. That's what we talk about with the students is that is most of our school year we'll be using canned tomatoes and depending on what we want to do, like say we want to do a roasted tomato soup, then I'll get whole tomatoes, we'll drain off the juice and we'll roast the actual tomatoes up with a little olive oil, and then we'll add the juice back in when we're starting to cook it down. And they come out wonderfully, and it's or if we're just making a regular tomato sauce, we'll just get some crushed tomatoes or chopped tomatoes or whatever. But that's the thing though, is that you're always tasting them at the ripest, which it's hard to do that even in season. If you go to the farmer's market and you know that they were literally picked the day before, and so you're able to you're able to eat these tomatoes that have ripened on the vine, then they're brilliant. They're delicious.
And hopefully we never stick it in a fridge. Like there's no, faster way to kill flavor, or the experience, because you're eating it just a couple of days removed. And I can't tell you how many times throughout the entire year I've wanted a tomato from the store to taste like anything. Strawberries the same.
Right. Oh yeah. Right. When you go and see things like strawberries, when you go and slice into it and the inside still has a lot of white, because all they're taking those white strawberries when they were picked, and then they're putting them into a room with a bunch of ethylene gas to go and ripen them to the exact texture or to the exact level they want them to be, so that when they arrive in the grocery store, they're firm, they're not going to be bruised, and they're going to look ripe. Because we buy everything with our eyes, because if it's all sealed in a package,
it's an optical illusion. Fun fact, for the listeners out there, and I know that you absolutely already know this, but bananas and apples give off ethylene gas naturally. Mm-hmm. So if you have an avocado that's hard as a rock and you'd like to ripen it, you can put it out with in a bag on the countertop with a banana or an apple or both. But it happens really fast.
Yeah,
so
it works a treat.
Yeah, like overnight. So.
Right. Oh, because I know some people will turn around like, oh, I just put the avocado in the microwave, it ripens it. So no, you're literally just cooking up the oils that are in there,
and water that's inside it,
and you're ruining it. I mean, that's all you're doing to it. So that's why normally, like I have a pineapple that I bought from Sam's Club Saturday. It's huge. But we love some pineapple. But I picked it up on Saturday with the intention that I'll probably cut it up tomorrow. It's just now goldening up. But I love pineapple, but I don't like it when it's just a big acid bomb. When there's no sweetness to it. I'll eat the pineapple instead of candy. I mean but it needs to be sweet.
When it's I've had so much terrible pineapple. It's usually on a buffet on the fruit section. Just like really, or like a fruit tray that somebody was like, these are the things we want on here instead of what's actually in season and tastes good.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Or some melon. I love, in fact, I've grown melon outside in our garden before, and it's just the most amazing thing. But when it's like a turnip, and someone's taken the time to slice it up and pretty much just ruin it because now they've sliced it up. There's no ripening this up now. It's just it's just a hard block. It's like there's no flavor to this. It's like you got to give it time. So
So I've never made so we were talking about spaghetti sauce. I've never made one from fresh tomatoes that I enjoyed, believe it or not, because it doesn't have the depth isn't there. Like if it's not it doesn't have to be like San Marzanos all the time, although that's kind of like the gold standard of like canned tomatoes. But it's funny because I was thinking about it the other day. I had some cherry tomatoes that a neighbor grew, and I was like, oh, these are really good. Me and cherry tomatoes for the texture don't get along though. To me, it's like biting into a bug and then exploding in your mouth. I do not enjoy that.
I get that
at all. Like I just don't. That is not a sensation that I'm a fan of. And I was like, well, it's really a shame that me, who will eat pretty much anything except for like black licorice and a few canned vegetables, like will not eat these tomatoes. Like I have to find out, something good to do with them. So I just ended up pureeing them into pasta sauce. It was kind of like an uneventful end for them. Like it wasn't anything spectacular. So, but yeah, I always start with like a piece of bacon. I don't always put carrot in mine. If I'm at the house, it's usually just onions and garlic. If I have a little bacon, I'll do it. If I don't, I will for umami. I'll put like a little. If I have porcini powder, I will. If I have Marmite, nice. Sounding very barefoot Contessa right now. Like if you don't have ostrich tears, store bought is fine. But like sometimes I have ostrich powder. Sometimes I have sample products that are free that I can like play around with. One of them recently was like umami seasoning that was like a mushroom powder blend. But all that to say, I just try to put something really deep and rich in there. And then I'm also a big kid at heart, so I enjoy like crushing the tomatoes with my hands before they go in.
Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I love it. I love it. So
speaking of powders, so we now have a freeze dryer at school as well.
Fun.
So we've started playing around with some different fruits and vegetables and things because so we're edging our way slowly to creating a cafe. We're now going to be creating a lounge in the lobby area of the career center, which is right opposite our kitchen. It's a huge lobby that's just most of the time it's just a space that that's not really used. So they last year they built a canteen where if kids want to get a soda and a snack or something during break time or during transitions. So now they're going to build us. Luckily, one of our administrators used to be a building construction teacher, and he loves doing projects like that. So he's going to build a backsplash counter, and I believe he's going to tile it up on the front or on the back there, and then a front counter. And so on one side, we're going to have like a pastry refrigerator, like the glass-fronted pastry refrigerators. So we can have some things in there. And we're looking at we get like an espresso machine in there, so we can do some some different flavored drinks and things like that. Although we've got to be careful, not too much caffeine in the kids. But the fact is, what I've realized is that most of the coffee drinks that students like to have, there's not really much coffee in them anyway. It's more about other flavors and things in there anyway.
Some coffee with your sugar, just a little cap.
Right.
The biggest flavors. I don't know if you guys ever get the chance to use it for anything, but one of the biggest, like, I was going to say like one of the hottest flavors in coffee, but it just kind of sounds weird. There's really popular flavors right now out there. One of them is ube. You're putting it in everything.
Oh yeah.
And fit is its way into a lot of lattes as well. So it could be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have a bottle of it in dry storage. Actually, I won it at an ACF meeting, and I brought it in. And one of the students was like, "We made moon pies because we always make marshmallow, so that students get to understand what we use gelatin for. You can use gelatin for lots of things, but that's kind of a thing that students really like to make, especially the end results. And so then we make moon pies. We just get graham crackers. We go and toast up the marshmallow, graham crackers on the other side, dip it in chocolate. So one of the students were like, how about we put ube inside there as well before we sandwich them together? So they did that. It was really good. It was really good. But
I love it.
But so with this lounge area now that we're going to be creating, we're going to be playing around with a few different things because hopefully we're going to start tiptoeing towards it because things in education don't happen in a hurry. We have to kind of plan things out. But if things go well, we will hopefully be able to open things up so that members of the public will be able to come in and be able to purchase some things from there. So we're looking at maybe trying to make some shelf-stable products, like some rice dishes maybe and some pasta dishes, but being able to freeze dry different vegetables and things like that in there. And we went to the Renaissance Festival this last fall, and they had there were some flavoring packets that you could use to make like a no-bake cheesecake and things like that. And so I had my students open one up. They made one, tasted it, and then then just looking at the list of ingredients that were on there, they reversed created it and put it together. Except for we used like a bunch of strawberries. So there's a bunch of strawberries that are grown right around near our school. So Courtney and I actually went over there this last summer and picked like tons of strawberries, and I just put them in the freezer because you can freeze dry them, you can blend them up, you can do anything, and they are just like we're talking about with the tomatoes. They are ripened on the vine, perfect. So they freeze dried some of those to make it into one of these packets that you could just add with cream cheese and make a dessert kind of thing. So lots of fun things like that.
The freeze dried stuff. I got to try I think I was really late to the game, but I got to try freeze dried Skittles last year, and I couldn't get enough of them. The thing about that texture is it's like such a mind warp. Like you just don't understand. Like it's supposed to be chewy and it's just like airy and crunchy, and they cost a pretty penny. And so does a dehydrator or like freeze dryer. Like either one, they're really expensive, right? But I love using like freeze dried raspberries like as a flavoring powder. It's so good. But except I had been using it a couple of times for camembert mousse, like more savory, but like still the same idea type of application. But yeah, I love them for everything. They're so much fun. I have to back up. I love talking shop with you, but I want to explain to the listeners a couple of things that we mentioned because I always want to. So we'll take it back a few steps. TVP is a textured vegetable protein, and for those listening who've never heard of it, you may have seen it in like a school cafeteria type chili situation not as the primary protein, but to stretch the meat to make it cheap. Essentially, though, it comes completely dried and shelf stable. It looks like grape nuts cereal. You can rehydrate it. I like to rehydrate mine with Mexican oregano and fennel seed. I like to make sausage patties out of it.
Nice.
And then ube, for anybody who's never heard of it, it's a Filipino, like a purple yam. So it's a really flavor. I think Chef Dom and I could talk all day about food, but I also want to make sure that it's like not just an inside conversation.
True. Very true. Yeah. It happens that way. Yeah.
It gets that way.
And another little gadget that it literally just came in last week in school is that it almost looks like one of those small cement mixer kind of things to put onto our new KitchenAid machines, where it just kind of rolls and tumbles things in there. So we're gonna try out some, maybe freeze drying some strawberries or maybe some raspberries, things like that, and then chocolate coating them or coating them with various different types of products on the outside of them as well. So. But that's
amazing.
Lots of fun things. I figure that way that the more I can expose students to with possibilities on understanding what culinary is in kind of like or really hospitality is in the broad sense. Because if a student comes to me because their parents run a restaurant or something, and you need to do culinary, or something like that, then the thoughts in their mind is that if I do culinary, I'm going to sweat in the kitchen for the next 30, 40 years and then drop dead. I don't know that I want to do that.
It's not that far off.
And when people get burned out, I mean, it's a hard career if that's what you're doing day in, day out, and you stick with it. And a lot of people can't stick with it. But that's where I teach my students. So if you can get enough smarts around it, but then enough understanding of the broad nature of the industry, if you want to go into research and development, if you want to go into, culinary medicine is just going to explode in the next few years. I mean, it's such a huge thing. Basically,
I can't wait. Like I'm really, really excited about it. I think it's underutilized. I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of Western medicine. I like the fact that we have antibiotics and vaccines. I was going to put that out there, sure. But the strides that we're making and seeing like how we can use what is around us is like really incredible.
Right. Oh yeah. All of these things coming together can work together to have a much better outcome than just than just taking the medicine and eating some Skittles.
Yeah, I mean, somebody took willow bark and kind of figured out salicylic acid and aspirin, right? Like there was a natural progression of science there. We're not still boiling willow bark for fevers, thank God, right?
Right.
Take a Tylenol, right? Like I think it's a really exciting stuff, but it all starts somewhere, and I think
exactly.
Really like consider our connection to our food supply. So I mean, I think it's like super important. It's really important. So how far out are you from the end of school?
So tomorrow is technically the last day. So I didn't. So tomorrow I probably won't have any students come to me. But today I literally finished the last finishing touches of cleaning the kitchen. Because we break everything down, we tear everything apart, even the drawer. When you look in the drawer and there's a bunch of clean cutters in there, it's like I don't care. Pull cookie cutters in there, empty the whole drawer out, because you know that there's crumbs in the bottom of that drawer from being opened and closed and stuff going in. We pull everything out, everything gets cleaned, everything goes back. So that way, when we come back in the fall, we still, I mean, it's going to be 7 weeks that we're off for summer. It's still going to be it's still going to need to be cleaned, because it's no longer sanitary when it's sat for that long. But the fact is, it doesn't take long. And walking into the kitchen when it looks fresh, smells fresh, and everything's ready, then it's just nice. I can certainly tell you that at the end, especially in the end of the school year, we do this at the end of every semester. We break the whole kitchen down and tear it apart. Even though right before Christmas, there's only a 2-week gap between that. But for students, when they get to the end of the school year, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna pull everything off this Metro shelf. Start from the top, work your way down. Everything comes off. We're gonna clean the shelves, and then we're gonna clean everything on there, and then put it all back up again. And students, they'll get fatigued. Like, Chef, why do we have to go and drag all this stuff off? It's already clean. Yeah, but that when there's only 5 minutes to the bell, and you had a stack of dishes and they magically all got cleaned, that we need to make sure that everything is spot on before we walk out of here.
It's like if you
don't want to come back after.
Yeah, totally. 2 weeks is a lot longer than you think, right? Like you wouldn't go on vacation for 2 weeks and then come home and expect something in your fridge to be good, right?
Right, exactly.
You would leave the Bachelor essentials, right? Like the mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup is going to be okay, assuming that nothing happened with the temperature while you were gone. But you're not going to lunch meat in there. You're not going to pull chicken to thaw and be like, okay, we're going to go to Tahiti and be right back, right? Like,
right.
The same deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why
I'm moving soon, and you're making me dread. Like I'm already dreading kind of pulling it like the silverware organizer out, because I know I wouldn't consider myself a dirty person, but like I can tell you in the last 2 years, I didn't clean the silverware drawer.
And it just gets the little bits in there. Yeah.
It's going to catch all the bits, right?
Right.
And then I think about it and I'm like, well, it is my own biome. It's probably not going to make sense. Like it's not going to make me sick. But it's gross. I'm going to clean it. So I'm going to clean it.
Every now and again, I'll just take it, especially if I'm looking in the dishwasher about to turn it on. And it's like, I think we've used almost every single piece of silver. I'll just take the whole thing and just throw it in the top shelf and let it go.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny. This is the first time I've lived with a dishwasher. I've had a dishwasher for the past 2 years, but for like the first time in 10 years. So I'm moving back into the same place. It's just an older house where there was like a gray water situation where things drained to the yard, not up to code, but the city doesn't care. It's older, but no dishwasher. So I'm just like, you're gonna enjoy it every time, according to the people who make the dishwasher, which are the people who I'm sure are paid to do the studies. I think it's PG&E. I listened to a fascinating podcast about this. They said if you have 7 items to put in the dishwasher, running it already saves you water, compared to like hand washing.
Wow.
I don't count to 7 and then run the dishwasher, as is my God-given right. Every single week, multiple times, even though I'm one person, I'm like, oh, there's 7 things in there. Bloop.
Right.
Like the scientist said I'm saving money.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Scientist said I'm
Yeah,
saving be 7 forks. What a time to be alive, right?
right. Exactly.
What
Well,
a time to
it's
be
funny.
alive.
There's a comedian in England that he was just talking about. We should live a very grateful life, because if
Yeah.
you look at people who lived 100 years ago, no one had a hot shower.
Yeah.
I said there are things that we just take for granted. That if I don't have hot water today, then I've got a problem. Then today's going to suck. 100 years ago, a king wouldn't have a hot shower. It's
Yeah.
like, huh?
Ali,
But
100
now,
was that still when they thought, bathing was the witchcraft or whatever? Like,
right,
bathing
exactly,
is bad. Is the 4 humors and it'll make you ill. Like, I don't whatever,
right,
when people weren't bathing.
right. It was like, look how far we've come. It's like all I have to do is walk over there, turn it on, and I don't care.
Sometimes it makes me think of I've been having a lot of hot tea in the mornings, even when it's been hot outside, and I've been like on a I've been on a breakfast tea kick for a little minute, and I use an electric kettle. It makes me sometimes I think about it when I'm using it, like when I flip the switch, I'm like, I wonder the first person to use this, how much joy it brought them.
Oh yeah, right.
No fire,
right. And wait, you're gonna click the button on there, and then when it boils, it just turns itself off. It's like, huh. It's like, wow, this is incredible.
So amazing. I wonder if the first person to use an electric tea kettle, like what would happen if you time warped them and then they got to see an air fryer? The brain would just explode.
Right. Right.
What is this? They wouldn't have the first 4 things to compare it to for reference. They wouldn't be like, it's like a microwave, it's like a conduction. They would have no clue. No clue. Chef, what are you cooking this week? What are you cooking this weekend? What do you have planned?
What am I? Well, actually, this weekend I may not cook because Sunday I'm heading out of town. Even though school finishes, so Wednesday is the last day of tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday is the last day of school. Thursday and Friday I'm teaching surf safe classes. And then Saturday I won't be doing that. Well, I'll be packing, because Sunday morning, like early morning, I'm getting on a plane, heading up to Chicago just for a stopover, and then going to a place called Kearney, Nebraska. So I'll be in amongst the cornfields in Kearney, Nebraska, for a conference. There's a career and technical education teacher conference going on there. For a few days, and they've asked me to go and speak at. I'll be doing 5 separate sessions while I'm there, teaching about what I do basically in my program, and how I can.
What an honor to be asked. That's really cool.
It really is. It's really neat, and I'll but for that we'll be making some chicken Alfredo, because when I first started teaching, I had no idea the love of chicken Alfredo that students have, that you can literally get them to do anything. It's like, you see that whole massive stack of dishes? Take care of that. We'll get some chicken Alfredo. I'm on it.
It's like choosing a football team. It's like required that you like chicken Alfredo, I think.
Right. Well, so the first day of school, and this is a little preview of what I'll be talking about there. First day of school, I ask all of my students just to write down their name, their favorite dish in the world, the most complex dish they've ever been part of, and that might literally be putting a Pop-Tart in a microwave, and then their favorite subject, or their what's that?
Is that eating it or making it? What's
the favorite dish that they like to eat, or the most complex dish they've been part of making, whether it's just them themselves, or if it was them and mom or something like that. Right. So what I recognized very quickly on was chicken Alfredo. Like, okay, they like chicken Alfredo. So now when we talk about going over our syllabus, right, our route map to your success, the rules that you have to follow to be successful. So instead of just talking about rules, because who's going to listen to that? I know I wouldn't. But if you're making something that I'm going to enjoy, then I'm going to listen. And plus, I have the students all standing up, kind of crowding around the front table there while we're making it. But I don't just make some chicken Alfredo. I go and take whole chicken. We fabricate the whole chicken down into individual parts, and we talk about what we can use. Because my level 2 students fabricate like dozens of chickens, because all the chicken we use comes from whole chicken. It's just very economical. And then we've got the bones to be able to make the stock with. We save all the wings and we freeze them until the end of the semester. And then we do a whole week of chicken wings with the students, and they love it. We do like all sorts of different flavors. So we'll take the legs, we'll debone the legs and the thighs, and then take the breast, and we'll grill that. And for the chicken Alfredo, we'll make a fresh Alfredo sauce. I do the American version of the Alfredo sauce, just because most of the kids are looking for the cream-based one.
And Parmesan and
right.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Feet if you're feeling really fancy.
right. Well, I can't stretch my budget to Parmigiano Reggiano in school. It just, I'd have to like not do anything else the rest of the semester. And then I'll take some broccoli, because some kids, when you show them trees and they're like, oh, I don't like eating those. Well, maybe you haven't had it done the right way yet. So, but then I go through, breaking it down, but still maintaining like the nice kind of foliage on top, instead of cutting straight through it and making, man-made flat edges. And then blanching it to partway cook it in boiling water, and then refreshing it so you seal in that beautiful color. And then we'll go and throw it onto the plunger on the griddle, so that way it kind of grills it up a little bit. You get a little of the caramelization happening in there with the Maillard effect. And then we put it all together, because what I do one day where it's a prep day, when we're talking about the rules, but I'm running through all of the various things. And because we talk about mise en place, our preparation, where we pull all the things together, because then the next day feed the whole class of 20 students in the space of about 10 minutes, because I've got all my mise en place together. Basically, as long as that chicken takes to cook, rest, and then dice up, everything else is ready. So so it's a lesson in what the restaurant will do in the background, and in how you prepare it, but it also goes through all the steps of safety, carrying.
That's a really amazing approach to that, because they get to see how everything fits together. And then it's not a cooking show, right? Like, we don't have the pre-made product here. We're not opening a fake oven and finding like a full made casserole. Do they make the pasta too?
Right. So later on, the level 2s make pasta. In fact, that's one of the things I'm going to be putting in a requisition for. We'll see if they go for it from the district. But I want to get a pasta extruder, because we have, we make right now. We'll make like raviolis, tortellinis, spaghetti. I've got things with spaghetti, fettuccine, those kinds of things. But I want to get a pasta extruder. But they're a little spendy. But I feel that it would benefit the students, and it's for the children.
Yeah, it's for the children's future. The children.
Yeah, but it's just so that's what I'll be doing in Kearney, Nebraska next week.
You like chili and cinnamon rolls while you're there. It's a thing. I don't make the rules.
I know. I've heard that. We've been to Nebraska once before on one of our road trips. We road trip. We've been to 46 of the 50 states now. We've only got four more left. But I still feel like we just scratched the surface.
I'm from the States and haven't been to that many.
So the last time that we were in Nebraska, we've actually driven through Kearney, Nebraska. 2017 was when we drove through. I had no idea that I'd be going back there to speak at a conference 9 years later. But it's the perfect it's the perfect little sample of what hospitality is all about. So we were driving along. I'd say it's probably about 7 in the evening. We're in the middle of a cornfield, of course. More cornfields. And Courtney was driving, and she was like, "Well, what is there around? I'm getting kind of hungry. Kids, you hungry? Yep. All right." So, and I'm looking. We actually had service, so that was good. But I'm looking on there. I'm like, I I don't see anything like anywhere. And so we're flicking around. It's like, all right, well, let me look farther down this road that we're traveling on, because it's no. Oh, there's a place called Bubba's Anytime, and there's a place called Strang, 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 Nebraska, where there's this small restaurant called Bubba's Anytime, and we went in there.
You're telling me that this had been the most incredible restaurant experience you'd ever had.
It had something for all four of us, and so the kids were younger. I mean, this is 9 years ago. So Jack was, how old were you, Jack? How old are you now? Please. Yeah. So he was he was probably about 10 years old. So feeding a 10-year-old, and then our daughter was, I guess, about 15. So trying to feed everyone in a place where it's like, this is the only option. I don't see anywhere else around here. When we sat down, there was something on the menu for everybody. It wasn't fine dining or anything like that, but it was just a nice American restaurant that had something for everybody to enjoy, and their hospitality was impeccable. I mean, it was extremely welcoming. We were about the only people left in there, because by the time we got there, I think it's about 8 o'clock by the time we got there. So it was getting kind of late anyway. The owners were sitting up at the bar. I guess they had just finished eating dinner as well. And they, when we were finishing, we were paying, and we thanked them. We were like, this is wonderful. This is, we were kind of losing hope to be able to find a meal this evening. And they gave the kids like keychains that said Bubba's Anytime on it, and with like the little lights on them and everything. It was amazing. So, but it was just the perfect example of hospitality, where we all ate. It wasn't prime rib or anything like that, but we all ate, and it filled our bellies, and it's one of the meals that all four of us will remember for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, of course. I always try to impress upon people that I love eating at Michelin star restaurants. Like I think it's really amazing. I don't get to do it as often as I'd like, or as often as maybe I thought I would when I understood what Michelin stars were, or decided to become a chef or whatever. But some of the most amazing meals I've had have been in people's backyards. Some of the most incredible hospitality experience I've had have been with coworkers. It is that, chefs didn't invent the idea of hospitality. It predates biblical times. Like it is like this kind of act of shared camaraderie between human beings. And for your students, I'm sure that it's really, really heartwarming for you to kind of like go along on the journey and see them figure out what it is. Like it's not where you put the napkin. It's not whether you get the script right. It's not about, sometimes it's not even about how the food tastes. It's just about how you make the other person feel. And it's a matter of like wanting to make somebody else happy, right? To sound cheesy, it's like living a life of service, wanting to genuinely take care of the other person with nothing in return. It is like a deeply sacrificial form of love. You're getting paid for it, right? Like it's really your sweat and your blood and your tears. So yeah.
That is exactly it. Yeah. Hospitality at its finest.
100%. I won't be doing any cooking. I'm also traveling. I'm going out of town. I'm going to go hang with some dear friends of mine in Atlanta, Georgia. And so hopefully we'll get to eat some amazing things in Atlanta, and I can talk about it on the podcast. But they do want to take me to the farmer's market, which will be really fun. So I'm hoping to come back with jams and jellies and hot sauce and, all the things all the fare that you find at the farmer's market. So, and hopefully some good food memories along the way. Chef, it's been amazing catching up with you. Do you want to be found online? Are you on social media? How can people connect?
I am. Well, most of what you'll see from me on social media is either if we're road tripping somewhere, or if we're if the kids are doing something or getting up to something, or if it's my students at school. That tends to be most of it. But I'm mostly on Facebook. I have a little bit of LinkedIn, and then I have my YouTube channel, which I need to foster a little bit more, but I've got, and it's my YouTube channel is not for the like and subscribe or anything like that. It's literally something that I created for my students, and it's just Chef Hawkes, Hawkes. But it's yes,
once an educator, always an educator, right? Like I think that's
right, yeah, and
it's really amazing course. So yeah.
But yeah, I'm out there. Do I spend a huge amount of time on there? Probably not as much as I should in some people's opinions, but it's
you'll live full life. It'll be there. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And it's a neat space. It's a neat place to be able to kind of put things and then have like markers in time, because then you can kind of go back in time and look at like various things that you've done, and oh wow, it's been 6 years since we did that. Things like that. So
it's definitely, that's one thing that you can do with social media, is like it's a chronicle, right? Like it's neat to see where you've been and not know where you're going sometimes. So
exactly. Yeah.
For me, sometimes it's like, oh, I can't believe I said that. Oh, I can't believe I posted that. Oh, and then you can go delete it. It never happened, or did it, because the internet is also forever. So
right, exactly. Yeah, careful what you put out there. Yeah.
Well, Chef, it's been amazing catching up with you. I hope that you have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for joining us. We'll make it a fourth coming up here pretty soon, and then next time we'll have Steve on, and we can all talk shop again. Take care.
Very cool. This is amazing. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
That's a wrap for today. Until the next episode of the Food for Thoughtcast, make good food, eat good food, share it, and be kind to one another.
Thanks so much for listening today. You are part of what makes us special, and we are so glad you joined us. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave a review. Just like food, delicious podcasts are better when you share them with others. Come back for seconds wherever podcasts are served, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Food for Thoughtcast.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at the Food for Thoughtcast, or at www.foodforthoughtcast.com, where you can link to all podcast players, or you can send us an email at foodforthoughtcmc@gmail.com.